Hello and welcome to the Lund University International Podcast. On the show, you'll hear from current students, alumni, researchers, professors, and many more special guests as we explore what it's really like to live, study, and work at Lund University, a world top 100 university. My name is Fabio, and I come from Napoli, Italy. I've been studying here in Lund for 4 years, done my bachelor's, and I'm currently a master's student in European Affairs. Today, we're diving into the world of rowing with 3 members of the Lund University Rowing Club. We'll hear about the club's rich history, how training works, and what it's like to compete as a team. Plus, we'll find out how rowing brings together students from around the world, and how you can get involved. Whether you're a seasoned rower or just curious about the sport, this episode has something for you. Today, let's welcome Max, Paula, and Sofia.
Yeah, so my name is Sofia, and I'm the student representative of Lund Rowing at the Malmö Rowing Club. And I'm from Canada, and I study Swedish here in Sweden right now.
I'm Paula. I'm originally from Germany, and I'm studying physical geography and ecosystem science at Lund University.
And my name is Max. I'm 26. I study accounting and finance in the master's here in Lund.
Okay, so welcome again, everyone. And we have quite a variety of countries and studies also involved here today. But one thing brings them all in common, rowing, of course. So can you tell us a bit about the rowing club and what brought you to start getting engaged in it here in Lund?
Yeah, so it being from Canada, I took up rowing in high school, and so I was part of the competitive team. And so when I moved here to Sweden, I was looking into different clubs and seeing if there's any clubs in Malmö or in Lund. And I saw that they have it in Malmö, and so I joined up. And then when I started studying in Lund, then I took a part of being in part of the Lund Rowing Club. And it's been really nice, and it's a good environment to start rowing up, and we have many different courses for beginners or to join in as an experienced rower.
Okay, that's very interesting. Yeah, Max?
For me personally, it was very straightforward to get involved. I started rowing in 2018 doing my bachelor's in Frankfurt. Picked up the sport, stayed at it, and when I decided to start my master's here in Lund, it was clear for myself that I also want to do rowing. And since there's the possibility to join this student rowing department at Malmö Rowing Club, I decided to join and been a happy member for half a year now.
I think for me it was a bit less straightforward. So I've done a beginner course right before I came to Lund. And then I was looking into what kind of sports I could do here and what I could get involved with. Just tried out the rowing club here, just having done the beginner course before. And I kind of got stuck because I really loved the environment. I loved the sport. I loved the people. And I'm really grateful for the student section there.
What is great about rowing, I think, is you're out on the water. You're somewhat disconnected from all the life which is happening around, because when you're on the water, there's nothing you can do. So although we are rowing mostly in Malmö, where the busy city is around us, when you're on the water, it doesn't affect you. You're just there and you enjoy being there and hopefully don't get too wet while doing it.
And you're almost never alone.
Yes.
That sounds really nice, and actually have a couple of questions for you. First of all, for all the people who are not here in Lund yet and who do not row the region, a question to make them understand, why are you rowing in Malmö, not in the city of Lund?
Yeah, well, in Lund, there isn't so much place to go rowing. There's in Malmö, we row in the canal and then also out into the harbor. And so it's really nice in the canal. It's a bit more closed off, so you are a little bit more protected from the wind and other elements. Whereas in the harbor, it could get a bit wavy, and so it's nice to have a variety of where you can row. But yeah, Lund doesn't have so much water for us.
Yes, that makes sense. But Malmö is only like a 15-minute train ride away, so no one has to worry too much.
No, all the students do it like 4 or 5 times a week, so it's very convenient for us to have the club quite near the train station.
It's only like a 10 to 15-minute walk then from the train station again. So it's really close by. So getting there from Lund is not a big hassle.
That sounds great. And about the community, I've heard there's a lot of international students. There's people who are currently studying in Lund University and some who are not studying, but were previous students. Can you tell us a bit about how is the vibe at the rowing club?
Yeah. So at the rowing club, we've got a lot of international students because rowing is a sport that is not super popular here in Sweden. And so we get a lot of people that have tried rowing outside of the country and then come back and want to continue, or are just moving to Sweden and want to continue rowing. And so we get a lot of international students and students that are on exchange. And so there's always variety of people from all over the world and with different backgrounds of rowing. I think.
For the community part, we actually try to engage the students that we have in weekly activities. So every Wednesday we meet up after the training and sit down and have dinner together, play games, make some plans for the next racing season, and try to really build a community so everybody feels welcomed and part of the club.
Yeah, I think also there's a lot of other things going on besides the road. Like, for example, we go to competitions together, or we go to training camps together, or we travel somewhere together. We just like do things outside of the rowing club as well. And that just like builds a lot of community and is really amazing. And since it's a team sport, you're really close together also on the water.
Yeah, you have to be quite synced up to be able to row well together, to be all in time, and you're always with the same people in a boat to get that consistency. So it's nice community building.
And you meet a lot of people that you otherwise would have never met, because like I do accounting, I've no idea about geography at all, for example, or people who study social science in Malmö are also part of the student section. And so you get in a very big variety of different backgrounds, which I think is also very good to widen your horizon.
Yeah, I thought I would also mention just we're the Lund University Rowing Club, but we're part of the Malmö Rowing Club. And so we get a lot of students that are also from just Malmö University. We have, I think, 2 or 3 members, but it's a wide variety of just students in general. And so it's nice to, as Max said, to have just a variety of different backgrounds and interests. And so you get to meet everybody there.
And we're also connecting with the other people at the rowing club that are not necessarily students, so also just people that are normal members at the rowing club. And I think that's also quite nice, because you get really different stories and you learn a lot. And especially as a lot of those people are Swedish, for me as an international student, it's really nice to also get a bit into the Swedish culture, hear from those people, learn from their experiences.
So, for example, on some Saturdays we have some meetup after the training, where, for example, the next season is being talked about from the people from the club, from Malmö Rowing Club, instead of just the student section. And then when you get there, you also enjoy some Swedish fika, so having some sweets and some cake, for example, and drinking tea. And so you, with the Swedish people from the club, you really get a feeling for what is it to be Swedish. And then also during our seasonal celebrations, so of course for Christmas, we have a Christmas party. Then you also get into how Swedes drink alcohol from time to time, because it is maybe different than you know it from other countries when you sing a song before every single time.
Yeah.
What a community! What a way to experience the Swedish culture and rowing at the same time. It sounds really amazing. So I've heard. So you meet on Wednesdays.
Yeah, we meet on Wednesdays for training, and then we have dinner,
and we also cook.
And we cook ourselves. And yeah, we're happy we just got a dishwasher, so we don't have to do the dishes anymore, but we have the cook still. And then for other trainings, we are able to join the Malmö Rowing Club's open sessions, and so that's 4 times a week. But we train by ourselves on Saturdays, 3 other times a week, so Saturdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And now that we're coming into the competition season, where we have a competition against Uppsala's University, which is the annual university competition, which is very exciting.
Our rivals, I would say.
Yes, we gotta beat them. So it's the 2 oldest universities in Sweden, and they have got an annual competition. And it's been going on since, that's the reason the club was started. And so the both rowing clubs were started so then the universities could have a competition. And so it's since 1992, I believe. Yes. So it's very fun. And we can look back on the history and see how much it's changed or stayed the same as well.
Just quickly cycling back on the training part, so nobody is afraid. You don't have to come all the time. It is okay if you only join once a week or maybe even less than that, but there's always the possibility to train more if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to the Uppsala race, maybe what is also worth mentioning is like, I know, like the people listening that are kind of connected with rowing, who know a bit about it, the people here call it the Swedish boat race. There is a famous boat race between Cambridge and Oxford University, like the oldest 2 British universities, and the people in Sweden were like, let's do that as well. But I think for us, it's still, of course, we want to win, but it's much more about the community and getting everyone involved, getting everyone in a boat, joining together, cheering together. And then there's always also some program around it. It's like a celebration in the evening. So it's a really, really nice way to also get the community of rowers together.
Where is this competition going to happen? In Lund or in Uppsala?
Well, we switch every year. And so this year it's going to be here in Uppsala. So I'm organizing it at the moment. So we're going to see, aiming for the springtime, but we might have to move it to the fall. But the boats are filled with all different levels of experience. So we've got beginners and also experienced rowers in it, in the boat. And normally we do 8. So this is a boat with 8 rowers and then 1 cock. So those cocks is the person who steers the boat and helps with strategy and technique points. And so the competition aims to have 2 a women's division and a men's division, where Uppsala brings 1 8 boat and Lund brings another 8 boat, and then we compete against each other in a 2,000 meter stretch. So it will be very exciting.
Well, good luck. We really wish you good luck.
Thank you very much.
Competition. And do you have other upcoming competitions, or is it only
so that's the main competition, but we're going to aim for going to some just open competitions, not just for students. And so we might go to one in Stockholm or in Copenhagen. There'll be some competitions this upcoming spring. But they're not mandatory to attend. It's just up to if you want to or not. And I think we've got a keen crew this year, so it'll be fun to see if we can win anything or just do our very best.
Generally, also, we quite often, like for competition outdoor scene, there's much more going on, and then we mostly join other people from Malmö Rowing Club or also form student boats to join competitions that not necessarily need to be all for students. So if you're really a competitive person and want to join, there is an option for everything. And everyone can compete, no one has to. But yeah, there's always also beginner competitions, even at the bigger Swedish championships. Yeah. They also have a beginner competition. So there's a chance for everyone to slide their way.
And even when it's not the summer season, so one can't go on the water for races, also in the winter, there are indoor competitions. So even if someone is not so experienced in rowing, so going in a boat would maybe be a bit more difficult in a competition. Doing some indoor competitions already, I think, is quite nice to get into the spirit. How do competitions here in Sweden work? And also the thing is they also always happen in different places. So you see a lot of different towns around Sweden. So we went to Gothenburg once, or Borås, which is close to Gothenburg, or Trollhättan, same area somewhat, but also there it changes every year. So one year it was also in Stockholm, for example. So you would get around.
Yeah, that's really exciting. And for someone who just would like to start, how does a training session look like for a newcomer?
Yeah, so for a complete beginner, we've got a beginner's course. And this would be with other students who also are beginners and want to join. And it'd be us, the more experienced students who are teaching them. So the beginner's course teaches you the basics of rowing, of how to row the boat. But then for once you get into the club and join for the regular training sessions, we normally divide up the crews into different boats, decide who's going to go where, and then decide on whether it's safe or not to go to the harbor. And then we take out the boats, we go out, we train, we do some drills, and then we come back in and we debrief, we discuss with each other what we would like to do different next time. And we're quite open with discussing what could be improved, and so that we continuously improve for the competitions. But we also have indoor trainings during the winter season. And so because it gets quite dark here in Sweden, it's not safe to go out when it's dark and cold. So we train indoors from October until now. We're starting our outdoor season in the springtime. And so our indoor sessions are on ergs, or rowing machines, ergometers. And there we have a coach that's assigned to every session, where we have a training plan, and it will do intervals of rowing with breaks.
But even in the winter, as long as the canal is not frozen, so as long as there's no ice, we can still go on the water. So depending on people's preference, on the weekend, there's always something going on the water, which most people enjoy quite a lot.
There's no such thing as bad weather. There's just bad clothing.
As the Swedish saying goes. So yeah.
Yeah, as long as there's no ice on the canal, because then it's the boats that are ruined, and we don't want that. So
Well, what an all year round experience, though. That sounds really enjoyable.
Yes, it's very nice.
And is there a fee for a student to join?
Yes, there is a fee.
For a year, it's around, for the whole year for a student, it's 1,300 crowns. So I would say it's quite decent. It's less than if you would join a gym. And we have a gym and a sauna. So this is two pluses. And once you're a member, you can go into the gym, for example, every time you want. You can use an ergometer whenever you want. And if you're an experienced rower, we can also go in a boat outside the open session once you have the skills.
Oh, that's a great opportunity. But I wanted to go a bit more into asking you, what are your experiences? What is the most exciting thing about being a rower?
I think there's two big things, and one of them is just like the people and the community, and like having so many people around, which is amazing. And the other thing is definitely this feeling of when you're in a boat, and especially when the weather is good, and you just feel like you're flying over the water, and you have the fresh air. So that's really an amazing feeling.
And also in Malmö, we're very close to the sea, or actually rowing on the sea. So you have this slightly salty air, which is also very nice. So it really feels fresh, and you're outside. And if the sun is shining, it's also very good for your vitamin D, which can be a bit of a problem in Sweden in the winter. So I would say rowing makes happy.
It's like holidays.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's very nice when you go on competitions and you're just bonding with each other. You travel up there together, and then you get to compete and really show what you've been training for. It's really nice to see the reward of all your hard work that you've been doing over the winter, or just here in the springtime now. So it's just really nice when you get to go out and it's nice weather and just really do some good rowing.
Maybe one note, rowing is actually a sport that people pick up quite late often in their lives. So if you're hearing that and you're a bit afraid that you might be too old or anything also to go to competitions or something, there's not such thing as being too old to start rowing. It's a sport you can pick up whenever it feels right in life. And even people who haven't trained that long can just join for anything and join for a competition.
We've got a wide variety of ages at the rowing club in Malmö and in the Lund. So I'm 2019 and then Max is 27. I'm sorry, but
Yes, thank you very much. But I also heard that, was it the German Olympic winner the last time? When did he start picking up rowing? At like
just a couple
25 or something? And then like how many years later, like 3 years later or something, he won the Olympics in rowing. So even if you think, no, I'm too old, no, you can still win the Olympics if you want to.
You just have to train, but there's no pressure from us.
This is your chance. It all starts from the Lund University Rowing Club.
Yes, exactly. Well,
and if you win, please also mention us.
Yeah, so it sounds like an amazing opportunity, a really fun community, and there is so much to learn and so much to join. And what advice would you give for someone who is coming to Lund and is maybe unsure if they want to start?
Yeah, I think that if they're unsure and if they want to start, then they could come. We've got open houses in the fall time, in the autumn. In the beginning of September, we will have one. One or two, I think. And so if you just want to come out, test it out, see what you think, we'll take you out on the water with other people that come to the open house. And last year it was very successful. We've got a lot of new members. And so I think if you just want to test it out for one time, then you come here, come to the open house, it's free, just to test out what it is like. You have to go to Malmö, but other than that, it's completely free. And then if you continue and you enjoy that, then join our beginner's course, which will take place a couple weeks after the open houses.
Yeah, I think something else I would suggest for students is just like take the chances you get and join the opportunities, like the social opportunities, because it makes everything much, much greater. And don't be afraid of the train ride to Malmö, because I know a lot of people who are like, I could never. And then I'm just thinking it's basically the same thing as if you would live in a big city and would commute to another part of the city. So it's definitely possible to come from Lund to Malmö for rowing.
And speaking from my own experience, as I also started rowing during my bachelor's, being a student is the best time to start with rowing if you haven't done it before. It is much easier to get into it as a student because of these open sessions and the beginner course that we offer compared to if you wanted to do it later on in life. So take the chance now.
And maybe to the beginner course and open houses that Sofia just mentioned, please look at our Instagram or social media, our TikTok, and there will be all the important information posted, like the dates, and also that we will have a beginner course then beginning of October, so that you know when things are happening. We will publish it there.
Exactly.
So should our listeners send you a DM if they're interested?
Yes, of course. Of course, they should send us a DM or any message to us would be greatly appreciated. We'll get back to you super fast.
Yeah. And if you're an experienced rower and you just write us a message being like, hey, I just want to come over, I'm not sure if I want to do it in Sweden or I want to join again, then please reach out anytime. You don't have to take part in the beginner course or anything. You can just come by any open session. Just let us know beforehand and we will take you in a boat and then see which level you're on. And based on that, we will see how we can train together.
Wow, that's really, really inspiring, actually. And I also wanted to ask what kind of scenery you get also. I've heard the coastal part, which I actually have done myself previously, and I feel like Malmö is really a place that offers so many beauties. And so is it also kind of like a sightseeing experience when you come?
Yeah. So when we row in the canal, we can row a little loop around, so it's kanalen runt. And so there we get to pass by Latinskolan and the fire station. And then if we continue, then we get to the library, the Stadsbibliotek. And that one's really pretty with little flowers now in the springtime, but also just great nature, big trees and such. And then you continue on, and there's by the casino there, which is also a nice park, Stadsparken or Kungsparken, I think.
Not too sure.
I'm not sure exactly.
A beautiful
but it's a very nice park with big trees and many different little birds and stuff. So it's fun. And then once you go out to the harbor, then it's awesome as well. You can go along the coast, and there's Turning Torso and Västra Hamnen and all just really nice buildings and stuff.
You can actually also row until when the weather is really nice, you can row until the Öresundsbridge. So that's the bridge connecting Sweden and Denmark. And you can actually row up until there and take nice touristic photos from underneath.
I would never.
It sounds scary, but also sounds something very exciting.
Yeah, when the water is peaceful, then it's very nice.
Yeah.
Yes, and we have boats that are made to be rowed in the sea, so they're much more stable, and then it's not that scary to be out in the open
harbor. Yeah.
So we have boats which are suitable for beginners, people who have never rowed before. We have boats like so-called racing shells, which are narrow boats, which are for more experience. But also when you're a beginner, you will get into these boats rather quickly. Not in a single where you sit alone in a boat, but with like 3 other people or 8 other people in an 8. And then you can go out, or like we already mentioned, the coastal boats, which are also suitable for the open sea.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, is there anything else you would like to add about your experience, about joining the club?
I would just encourage everyone to reach out to us to just try it. It's super fun. I enjoy it. It's you work all your muscles. It's legs, arms, back. I think it's just a great way to get energized, to do a little bit of exercise, get some fresh air outside, and meet new people. I think it's awesome. So I would encourage everyone to join.
And I agree with that. And what about the others?
It's just really a nice place to be. And probably also to sum this up, it's more like a family now. And we have like the boathouse, and we have like a little kitchen and a little seating area. So sometimes we're just coming earlier and we're just enjoying. And coming to the rowing club just makes me really happy every time. So whoever hears this, I really encourage you to come and test it out.
Just to get some of the studying out of your mind for a couple of hours a week, and just enjoy, when the sun is shining, then the nice Swedish weather. Otherwise, also just train inside and just get engaged. Like this is the best time to start. And we're looking forward to seeing you, Fabio, in the rowing club, since you said you already did it before. So feel free to reach out.
I might be there, and maybe I'll meet also some of you listeners during the next semester. And so thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Lund University International Podcast. If you're interested in learning more about Lund University, you can go to our website, lunduniversity.lu.se. You can also follow us on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and X. And you can connect with our amazing student ambassadors on Unibody. Don't forget to subscribe, and we look forward to bringing you a new episode very soon.